Halito everybody and welcome back. This is CT over at the NYC Indian, and today we're going to be reviewing Married at First Sight, Mighty Mighty Boston Bonds. This is going to be brought to you from an urban Native American perspective, a mixed perspective, and a secular perspective. So let's dive right on in. So this episode is mostly about intimacy exercises, so we'll kind of talk more about that, I guess. I mean, except for Lindsay, who started off the episode talking to her best friend and catching her up on Mark pulling back from her, and the marriage is not going that great right now. What is she gonna do and stuff like that. But Dr. Viviana visits Katina and Olajuwon, and he just starts going in with that same stuff about, the cooking and cleaning, and, Katina breaks down, starts crying, and, Olajuwon looks completely just like apathetic, he just like, oh, you want to cry now kind of thing. I didn't like it. It was so uncomfortable. And Dr. Viviana basically is just reading him, okay? This is not how you approach a marriage. It's not how you treat another human being. That's not how you show love and things like that. So it looks like the next episode's really going to heat up with these two, because finally we're going to see her stand up for herself. Finally, I want to see her stand up for herself. We've been hearing in the background that she does do it, but we just haven't seen it. But when I saw that clip, I was like, okay, and I hope that's not going to be like a 2-second clip. I want to see her go off on him to the point where I feel a little bit satisfied. Because come on, like, she's a nice girl. Nobody likes to see somebody get beat up and bullied on, right? I mean, anyway. Watching Jasmina and Michael is like watching two cats fight, basically. I mean, it is just, there's not going to be anyone that's not going to get hurt in that situation. I mean, they talked in circles, and, the intimacy game more kind of felt like they were buddies to me. I'm just not getting that intimacy vibe from them. They've been hanging in there, but I think that it's probably time to kind of cut the losses. They just don't have the chemistry. It's just a chemistry thing, right? She's not into him. And when she said to Dr. Viviana, and we got the clip last week, we didn't know, what the clip exactly was going to be how it would exactly be put together. But once we saw it, she said, more or less, if you can't, flood the basement, before or after, basically, then it's not going to happen. And that was her way. That was her indirect way, I feel, of saying, if you just can't get me there, I'm out. And I think that's just where she's been from the beginning. So instead of her cutting him off and telling him, Michael, now Michael, instead of doing all that, Jasmina, I think you should probably just probably wrap up production right now. I don't see it going any further. I mean, do you guys think they're going to stay together? There's nothing to me that indicates that they will. I mean, of course, I feel like he wants to stay with her. He's just trying to unlock whatever the key is he feels like is to her personality, to kind of, satiate her and just make her happy and stuff like that. But she's just not into it. I mean, she's just not into him, I think. So no matter how many exercises and, chocolate covered underwear and all this stuff, I don't think any of that's going to work with them. Were you guys not getting buddy vibes when they were doing those exercises together? I don't see it happening. Yeah, I just think they should walk away. So now we have Steve and Noy, and basically, Dr. Viviana asked him about their status of their relationship, and Noy is saying that, she felt bad because she didn't realize she had hurt Steve so badly and stuff. And, now that that's resolved, everything is okay except the career status, or the employment status, I should say. And usually Steve is the voice of reason, but boy, did he come in with the bullshit this week. Did you see that when he goes? Well, I mean, I'm doing the cooking and cleaning around here. So, I mean, if I go to work, I mean, there's nobody going to be here to do the cooking and cleaning. So, I mean, it's just the house is going to look a mess. So, yeah, that's enough. Listen, he was trying to, oh, man, come on, Steve. Come on. Did you rehearse that one? Did you rehearse that because you think that that's supposed to be a reason? And that's basically what she said. She was like, well, that's not the kind of marriage I want. Now, I have gotten on her and said that she is a little bit inflexible in some situations, but in this particular instance, this is just a basic. It's like saying to a person, you know what, I really love you and this is really cool, but I'm not really into living in a house. I just kind of want to live, like in a really nice tent. And we can make it really nice. I mean, we can trick it out and put lights and stuff like that, but I'm just not into the whole paying rent kind of thing. Right, like that would sound crazy. Like that's the foundational stuff. Okay, you're not going to provide me with a stable, structured home. Okay, that's ridiculous, right? That's the same thing. Like, so he's just thinking he can, just do his art and be creative and not expect a wife who he had. They both agreed, I guess they both agreed upon having children together, that you have no plans on getting a job. Steve, I've been so on the fence because I want him, I want him to just get the job. That's all I want him to do. But then if I think about it even further, would just a job fix it? It's more of a mentality, right? Because he has the smarts, he has the network, he has the resources, the accessibility, but he just doesn't want to. So just getting a job is not going to change all of those other things, unless maybe it was just the perfect job, I guess. But I don't know. It just seems like he's burnt out, or just maybe he chose the wrong field or something like that and just doesn't know what to do. But I mean, I wish Dr. Viviana would have been a little bit more stern about that. Like, what the hell is the matter with you? But hey, listen, she's part of the team that had him on there in the first place. I don't know how you bring an unemployed man onto this show, knowing all the obstacles that they have to go through to begin with. I mean, that's really on you all. That's probably why she didn't say anything. Yeah, now that I think about it, that's why she didn't say anything, because they knew that they were doing Noi dirty. First of all, pairing her up with somebody who doesn't work and has a last name that rhymes with her first name. I mean, come on, it's too much. So now it's Dr. Viviana's turn with Mark and Lindsay. And of course, Lindsay's, putting him down and stuff like that. And I mean, it's not what you say, how you say it. You can say how you're unhappy, but she starts saying things like, well, I thought he could, but he can't handle me. Stuff like that, repetitively. Maybe like one time, but repetitively is like kind of trying to break down the person's spirit a little bit. I'm just kind of not into that. I don't think that's right. And, Dr. Viviana called her on it. She was like, you just don't have to be so rude. But Dr. Viviana, if you really knew that about her, you should have had this conversation with her like prior to now. And you should have have that conversation without that big smile on your face, because she's like, you're just too rude. Come on, be a real person. Like, that's what people don't like, is that kind of fake kind of, the fluff, right? Dr. Viviana, good and well, if the cameras were rolling and in any kind of regular situation, you're counseling someone and they're being nasty, or you feel that they're being nasty, even if it's towards another person. But if the person, especially if they're sitting right there, your response, I'm sure, would not be with such a huge smile on your face. Like, it looks so phony and contrived to me. I don't like that. Like, bring in some real experts. I don't care where they're from, what background, what socioeconomic. Just get some experts that are going to be very real. Like, at least Dr. Pepper will kind of step into it and be like, that's not right, or I don't think so, or something like that. But that doctor, I mean, what was all that smiling for? You need to let her know, like, don't be so rude. You don't have to speak that way. Now, you don't have to be so rude. Come on, be for real. I know it's TV, but give us some realness. Everything else is freaking produced. At least give us a real reaction to her behavior. Meanwhile, back over at Katina and Olajuwon's place, Olajuwon is elated because Katina decided to make him a movie night so that they could stay home together and hang out together. Now, what I didn't realize is that Katina is still at this point a regular club goer. I was a little surprised to find that out, because she was saying that she likes to go to the clubs, and I guess that's still current, versus he likes to have a little movie night at home or whatever. So, he was, over the moon about that. But, I'm sure his elation only lasts for 5 minutes until he discovers she brought him like the wrong popcorn or something. I have no time for it. So it's time to wrap up the exercises, and Mark and Lindsay have a box of like ball gags and stuff, and they're playing around, having a good time with candy, bikinis, and I mean, they're just having fun. Nerf guns. it seems to be that the exercise, what it was intended for in their case, I guess, seemed to have been successful. I mean, they seem to be getting along. Now, is that going to translate later on in the evening when it's time to turn out the lights? Maybe we'll see, maybe we won't see, who knows. But they seem to have a good time with that exercise. And then we go later on and we see that the girls are at aerial yoga and the guys are at a local ice hockey rink. Now, who had these fools out there on the ice? They can't skate with no kind of padding, like nothing, no head protection, nothing. I mean, that's pretty serious. Everybody in that group is at least 30, right? I mean, you can have a, listen, I'm a medical worker, so, I'm always looking for an injury, right? So that just looks like an accident waiting to happen. You don't want to wind up in a wheelchair. I'm just saying. And the ladies, they're over there and they're talking about something that I found very interesting. They were talking about how they missed the pursuit, the wooing, just showing that intention, right? And I think back to myself, like, I just remember I'm someone who married someone who was definitely courted and courted in the right way. And my husband, he was so respectful in the way that he pursued me and let me know that he loved me and he wanted to be with me and he wanted to take care of me. And that was very, for me, and that everybody's different. Some people don't want that, but for me, that was so endearing and it was kind of old fashioned. It was kind of sweet, right? And even though we were long distance, he still courted me from long distance. I mean, he would make sure that he would fly in to see me or find a way for me to fly and see him. I mean, we made it work and we've been together for a long time now, over 10 years. So I just thought, like, I don't know if I could do something like that, I remember our early days when we would be dating and I just remember like being outside and we would I would take him to the powwows and, we'd be out there and, the lights are on the arbor lights on the powwow grounds and the bonfire. And just remember like the smell of the fry bread that we would get and we'd be eating our Indian tacos and, watching dancers. I mean, those little things, even though maybe we weren't dancing ourselves, but just that was part of the process. Like, though in a courtship, when you have those nice little dates and things like that, it gives you something to remember when you're older, when your face drops and, your ass gets totally flat and you got no more, you got freaking stretch marks and you don't have a waistline anymore. It just, that wooing and that courtship is so, I never really thought about it that much until those ladies brought it up. And I thought, wow, I don't know that I could just go into a marriage with someone who I am not like completely head over the moon for. So it's just, it was interesting. It was really, really interesting. But, again, we're all individuals. We're all different. That courtship that worked for me, for some people, that might be too much, that they may be like, oh, I need more space. I need more independence. But I just thought, it's kind of a thing that is like, it's a dying thing. Well, not dying, it's kind of dead. People just don't court anymore, It used to be an expectation. Speaking of courtship, okay, I'm just going to sidebar really quick, but I am also reviewing The Courtship, which is that show about old-fashioned Regency era style courting with the young lady from the local Seattle area. She used to be a cheerleader. She's Haitian American background. Anyway, so if you guys want to check that out, I also have some of that on my channel, or I have some videos of that on my channel as well. Okay, so the last scene was with Mike and Jasmina, and they're doing the tantric yoga. I'm telling you, I've seen brother and sister do, it just looked very brother and sister-ish to me. It just didn't have anything romantic. It just had very family vibes to it. And she, basically bookended the entire episode by saying, that spark that I was trying to feel initially in the beginning, well, I mean, I'm not so sure. So, I mean, she's saying it. She said it without saying it. The basement flooding, Vijay situation, and she's not feeling the spark, all right? Or she's not there yet, or whatever that's supposed to mean. She's just not feeling it. So hopefully next week we'll get to see, because I don't think, next week I'm assuming is the day before decision day, right? it's not actual decision day, I don't think. Well, either way, we'll see. I don't know. I had to look on my DVR to find out what exactly is going on. But anyway, listen, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm so happy you guys have been engaging and participating with me. It really makes a difference. You know, you want to know that what you're putting out there, that people are receiving it. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Let's see, what else did I want to say? Oh, I want you guys to take care of yourselves. Check out some of my other videos that I have. I usually do videos typically the day after a show has aired, sometimes a couple of days after, but because I got a little kid, so my schedule gets a little bit busy. But if you're enjoying what you're seeing, please give it a thumbs up, share the video, comment, and please subscribe so you know when I'm going to send out new videos. Especially if you hit your notification bell, you'll know when I get new videos or when I put out new videos. So anyway, you guys take care, and chipi salacho.